These are the top 100 best luxury watches of all time. Let's start off immediately with number 100. The Tudor Black Bay, a perfect watch to start off your luxury watch collection. Totally worth your money, and it also has a unique look. Number 99. The Jaeger LeCoultre Master, a simple watch that fits for every occasion. Number 98. The Moon Swatch. The Moon Swatch has to be in this list. It's such a cool collector's watch, made by two of the biggest watch companies in the world, Omega and Swatch. For this price, it's just a must-have. Number 97. The Cartier Santos. This is just a watch which, with the right case size, fits everybody and looks good on everybody and will last a lifetime. Number 96. The Rolex Datejust. If there was one watch you had to wear forever, the Datejust would always work. A beautiful watch from the best-known luxury watch brand, Rolex. Number 95. The vintage Omega Seamaster. I just love how this watch looks. Number 94. The American classic Intramatic Auto Chrono. There is no better looking chronograph for the price of $2,000. For me, this watch just hits differently. Number 93. The AP Royal Oak Offshore. There are a lot of offshores, and I like this one the most out of all of them. If you have a big enough wrist, this watch will not disappoint. Number 92. The Reverse Panda Daytona. I love the Daytona model, and the Reverse Panda is just so clean. Number 91. The Rolex Yachtmaster. I don't know what it is, but this Yachtmaster just does it all. If you wear this on a yacht, you're the man. Number 90. The IWC Portugueser Chronograph. IWC is such an underrated watch brand and is not very widely known, which is a shame because watches like these are just amazing. Number 89. The Cartier Tank. I think everybody loves the Cartier Tank. It's such a simple watch, but you can wear it on many different occasions, like a wedding or at the beach. It just doesn't matter. Number 88. The Rolex Explorer. I'm not going to say too much about this watch. Just look at it and try not to fall in love. Number 87. The IWC Portofino Chronograph. A bit more classy than the Portugueser because of the simple hour markers. Just a great watch. Number 86. The Patek Philippe Calatrava. I love the dial on this watch, and the combination of white gold with a gray dial just does it for me. Number 85. The Frederic Constant Slimline Monolithic Manufacture. The relief on the dial and the small opening to peek at the movement give this watch a very rich look. Number 84. The Rolex LED. This watch may be faked and photoshopped, but the story goes that Rolex made 5 of them as prototypes, of which 4 got destroyed and 1 got stolen by an employee. Do you think this watch is real or fake? Number 83. The first waterproof Rolex. The moment this watch was manufactured, history got made. The branding of Rolex just made the difference, and it already started with this watch. Number 82. The Audemars Audemars Piguet Millenary. This watch is going to make people question things, and that is what I like about this watch. Talking about questions, I still have questions about the watch at number 76, but we'll leave those for later in the list. Number 81. The Batman GMT Master 2 is a must-have if you like to travel. It will never break. You can check the time of 2 time zones, and in my opinion, this is the best looking GMT Master 2. Number 80. The Omega Seamaster Aquaterra World Timer Master Chronometer. I love the world time watches, and this is one of 3 out of this list. It's just so cool to be able to see the time of every time zone. Number 79. The Red Gold Datejust. Everybody knows about the Datejust, but not everyone knows about this version. That's what makes this such a cool piece. Number 78. The RM1701. Now, you're thinking, what? Is he putting an 800K watch on place 78? Yes, I am. I do like the watch, but for me, Richard Milles just look too much like toy watches. This is why I only like the black or white variants. And when I look at this RM, I like it, but I think it's overrated. At least this piece. Number 77. The Tissot PRX. This watch is just amazing. A timeless sports watch that will last a lifetime for $600. Number 76. The Omega La Magique. Not only is this watch just one big mystery, if you look at it, you can watch completely through it. It is also worn by Al Pacino in the movie Scarface. Number 75. The Bulgari Octo Finissimo. It's just a crazy 2.5mm thick skeletonized watch. Number 74. The Lange & Söhne Saxonia. The dial of this watch just stands out, and I also love the leather strap. Number 73. The Rolex Lapis Lazuli is not only a very unique and rare watch, it is also worn by the notorious B.I.G. This makes it a legendary piece. Number 72. The Aquanaut. I love this watch, but I do think that it's a bit overrated. That's why it's only at number 72 for me. Number 71. The IWC Portofino Automatic Red Gold. This watch is special because of several reasons. Reason 1 for me is the backside of the watch. I also really like red gold. It's a metal that is not used much for watches. And the last thing, which is quite funny, by having it, you can piss off Kim Jong-un because he also owns this watch. Number 70. The Rolex Turtle Timer. It's a typical Rolex Oyster watch that got modified at the retailer's request. It's a watch from the year 1942 and is very rare and, in my opinion, underpriced. Number 69. The Patek Philippe 5172G. This is not the most complicated watch, but it just looks so good. The smoked salmon dial color does it for me. Number 68. The Edward Piguet Perpetual Calendar. When you think of Audemars Piguet, you think of the Royal Oak model, but never about watches like this one. And these are the APs I'd like to see more, instead of only Royal Oaks. Number 67. The Omega Speedmaster, aka the Moon Watch. This watch was the first watch on the moon. Rolex tried their very best to take the spot, but they lost the battle against the Speedmaster. Despite that, it also just looks amazing. Number 66. The 5396G. I don't have much to say about this watch. It's just a watch that has what I seek in a watch. Number 65. The the Jacob & Co. Pioneer Tourbillon. I do not like or dislike the brand Jacob & Co. For me, they don't really make watches, but small crafts for your wrist. I see it more as jewelry. Nevertheless, I have to admit this is a pretty cool piece, and it's more of a watch in contrast to the other models. Number 64.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The classic Submariner. This is just the founder of dive watches for me. It's just a watch you can't hate. Number 63.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 116519 LN. I love the Oyster Flex strap, and the retro look this watch gives does it for me. Number 62.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Cellini Libertà. This isn't a watch that looks good when you wear it, in my opinion, but it's super cool to have in your collection, and I bet nobody knew this watch before now. So, if you didn't, you have to subscribe. Number 61.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The John Mayer Daytona. I like this watch, but I also like the story. This watch was released in 2016 and nobody seemed to care. But after an interview from Hodinkee with John Mayer, this watch became one of the most popular Daytonas and skyrocketed in value.
How does nobody notice this?
Number 60.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Gold Chronograph Royal Oak. I like this model more than the Gold Daytonas. It's just a bit more calm. Number 59.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Vacheron Constantin World Time. Another World Time, but just with some nice details. Like one side being dark and one side being light, to refer to night and day. And you can't tell me you don't like the aesthetics of this watch. Number 58.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 40 in white gold with an olive green dial. I like this watch more than its rose gold brother, and I feel like nobody sees this watch. It's 10 grand cheaper than the rose gold one, and I like it more. Number 57.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Patek Philippe 5089G. This is something that Patek Philippe is not known for. They never make watches like these, so this model stands out. Number 56.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex Cellini Moonphase. I like Cellinis, but I don't love them most of the time, but I do love this one. Number 55.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex Sky Dweller. This is one of my favorite modern Rolex watches, and also the most complicated movement made by Rolex, which is there for a model for the books. Number 54.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Antarctique Rattrapant. I'ma be honest, I didn't know this watch before I was making this video, but I was searching for unique pieces, and this is definitely one of them. Number 53.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex Smurf. A white gold Submariner is already cool, but the fact that this watch was made for Rolex's 100th anniversary makes it even cooler. It's a simple but beautiful watch. Number 52.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The RM2102. This RM just hits the nail for me in terms of looks. Number 51.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Steel 5711, the watch that saved Patek, designed by Gerald Ganta, a Swiss watch designer and artist. When you think of Patek, you think of the 5711. The next watch has quite the same story. Number 50.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Steel Royal Oak. Again, a watch that saved a watch brand and also made by Gerald Ganta. I personally like the Royal Oak just a tad bit more than the Nautilus, but both are very important and good-looking watches. Number 49.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The RM5205. This Richard Mille has got my heart. It's not a super complicated flyback chronograph or a tourbillon split-second chronograph. It's just a watch that tells the time brought to life together with Pharrell Williams, which is cool, but the coolest part is that the dial is hand-painted, and that is not an easy task. It's like you're wearing a masterpiece of art on a YouTube wrist. Number 48.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 5131 Patek. There are a lot of world time watches, but this is my favorite one. This dial is just so beautiful, and the gold with the dark brown leather strap, it's just a watch you can look at forever. Number 47.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The double red Sea Dweller. They are so cool, the Rolexes with small details on the dial, and I think it starts here. Most people know the double red Sea Dweller. What is the difference between a vintage Sea Dweller and a vintage double red Sea Dweller? Only those two lines of words are written in red. Rolex made dials like these for a short period, which makes them quite rare, but there are way rarer pieces with little differences on the dial, but we'll get to them later. Number 46.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Tiffany signed Owl Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Day Date. This is another watch with just a small dial difference. This time it's a Tiffany & Co. dial. Number 45.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The AP Royal Oak Double Balance Wheel. This watch is very well known in the watch scene, which it deserves, because it is a fantastic watch. You might think it deserves a higher place, but it is a bit overrated in my opinion. It's not a unique watch anymore. There are skeleton watches that look way better that do not get the attention this piece gets. Still, a very nice piece though. Number 44.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 6269, the Princess of Rolex. This vintage Daytona just stands out like a queen. It is very limited. The precise amount of times it's been produced is unknown, and that's the same for the next model. Number 43.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 6270, the big brother of the 6269. Both incredible pieces. My preference goes to the 6270, but the best would be to own them both, like the man himself, John Mayer. Number 42.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The IW 459308. Now, you're thinking, are you crazy? This above the 6269 and the 6270? The answer is, yeah, I am. Number 41.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 5980R. It's not the most original watch, but it's still very lovely. Number 40.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The A. Lange & Söhne Odysseus. I saw this watch for the first time in a video of Hodinky with Ed Sheeran, and I love it. It's a unique piece. A gray dial with steel just does something. It's also very old and new at the same time, which I like too. Number 39.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex 6062. At first, people will think, what's that? A gold Datejust? Which is a bit odd, but it's even cooler. I know for a fact you like this watch. Look at the small details, like the hour markers. It's just a stunning piece, like every piece in this list, because it's the 100 best watches. Number 38.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The MB&F Double Chronograph. Yes, you heard it, a double chronograph. To be honest, when I looked at this watch for the first time, I thought, what the f*** is this?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But when you just take your time and look at it up close, it's a very complicated and special watch. Number 37.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 5935. I know I said that the 5131 was my favorite roll-time watch, but I didn't mention anything about flyback chronograph roll-time watches. Wow, that's just too complex to understand. Not only that, it also looks amazing. The dial pattern gives it just that extra bit of greatness. Number 36.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Chronometer Holland & Holland. One reason I like this watch is that it's a collab with Holland & Holland Guns, a brand that makes exclusive hunting guns with crazy patterns. You can see this reflected in the dial of the watch. It's just an amazing looking piece. Number 35.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 6000T Vacheron Constantin. I'm a big fan of Vacheron Constantin, and this model stands out compared to their other models. It's different, and I also love that they put their logo on the tourbillon. It just makes it look different than other tourbillons. Number 34, the 5905R.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
People are more familiar with the 5905P, but I'm not a big fan of that one. I do love the 5905R. You probably noticed that I talk a lot about dials. Well, this is quite a normal dial, but it's very clean. Number 33.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The AP Royal Oak 2673 OST. I love Royal Oaks, and this is one of them. They are just too clean. This configuration is crazy good looking, and the tourbillon just gives it that industrial look. A masterpiece. Number 32.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex Zerograph. Rolex might be the only brand that was able to make two watches that looked good back in the day and even nowadays. And that's why I love the Rolex Zerograph, because it is one of those pieces. Number 31.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Monero Flyback Chronograph by Carl F. Bucherer. This watch is another flyback chronograph that stands out for me, especially the champagne dial variant. It also has a beautiful light brown leather strap. This watch costs around $15,000, but the other versions are very affordable and are more in the $3,000 to $5,000 price range, which is a very good price for a flyback chronograph. Number 30.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex Day-Date 228238. What makes this Day-Date so special is very personal to me. About a year ago, I had a dream that I purchased this exact Day-Date, and the moment I woke up, I made it my goal to make my dream come true. So, if you want to help me, again, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Number 29.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Vacheron Constantin Overseas in Rose Gold. This Vacheron made me love Vacheron. It was the first Vacheron I ever saw, if I remember it correctly. And Vacheron Constantin was founded in 1755. So I think I lived under a rock for the last 278 years, or just wasn't alive at all. But just look at this watch. Don't you love it? Number 28.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Solstitium Tourbillon, a watch made by a Dutch watchmaker I've been following on Instagram for quite some time now, named @Holzman Timepieces. He's a watchmaker who can create pieces in a year or less. He is able to do this because he makes the whole watch by himself from scratch, and he makes very complicated pieces like this one. And I'm from the Netherlands too, which makes me love this watch even more. Number 27.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso. There are a lot of different Reversos, but this one is one of my favorite ones. I love the way they basically give you two watches for the price of one. And in my opinion, this is just a very underrated piece. It's one of my favorite dress watches there is, and people who don't know this watch will be flabbergasted when they see how you are able to casually flip your watch. Number 26.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex 6236. I told you Rolex was the king of making good-looking tool watches back in the day. This is the best-looking one and is also a very special watch. It's named the Jean-Claude Killy, named after a retired French skier with a great legacy. Number 25.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 5712 1R. I like this way more than the 5980R because it's not junky at all, because it doesn't have chronograph pushers. Also, the dial color is very rich and unique. I love that at the top left of the dial, you can read the power reserve, meaning you can read for how long your watch will be ticking without wearing it. Number 24.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The RM055, aka the Bubba Watson. This watch has been made for the professional golfer Bubba Watson. I love gold and I love watches. That's why I had to put the RM055 in this list. Look at the all-white skeleton dial. A very nice RM that I appreciate a lot. Number 23.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Patek Philippe Celestial Grand. This watch is very unique and has very cool features. Highlighting Patek Philippe's great tradition of astronomical watches, the Celestial devotes its dial to a rotating chart of the heavenly bodies. At any time, you can admire the exact shape of the nocturnal sky in the northern hemisphere with the apparent movement of the stars and the phases and orbit of the moon. The two skeletonized hands point to the hours and minutes of mean solar time. An ellipse, which can be seen on the underside of the sapphire glass, frames the portion of the sky visible from Geneva and all other cities located at the same latitude. I mean, with all these features, this watch deserves a high spot in this list. Number 22.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The AP Royal Oak Offshore Music Edition. I love this watch's standard version, but I also love the diamond set version. It's just a different piece that stands out, but is not too crazy. A very good watch released by Audemars Piguet. Number 21.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight Planetarium. With an entire solar system beautifully executed in precious materials on its starry, adventurine dial surface, the caliber powering the Midnight Planetarium consists of 396 components and accurately displays the relative position of the planets as they are in real life. An incredible feat of watchmaking. The overall design is restrained and elegant, making this a stunning option for a unique watch, as long as legibility of the actual time of day isn't terribly high on your list of priorities. Number 20.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 18039 Rolex with a wood dial. I know what you're thinking, and yes, this is the best looking day date there is. Number 19.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The FP Journe Tourbillon Souverain. A tourbillon improves the accuracy of a watch, because the tourbillon is basically the heart and the brain of the watch together. The tourbillon makes the wheels rotate, and if it doesn't do that, gravity pushes down on the heart and the brain. This makes the watch less accurate. But rotating it in a tourbillon, gravity isn't pushing on one point and the watch gets more practical. But FP Journe did the impossible. He was able to make it sideways, which offered even less pressure from gravity and made the watch even more accurate. FP Journe was the first man who made this possible. Nowadays, there are even more incredible tourbillons, but we will get to those later. Number 18.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex 30A2. A Rolex from around 1935 with removable lugs isn't that cool. And not only that, it also has a perfectly working chronograph. Number 17.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Sky Moon Tourbillon, reference 5002, and it is the first double-faced wristwatch that features a complete presentation of the nocturnal sky on its reverse side. This masterpiece displays the apparent movements of the stars, the orbit of the moon phases, as well as the hours and minutes inside real time. Number 16.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Richard Mille RM5003. This is a manual winding tourbillon movement with hours, minutes, a split seconds chronograph, a 30-minute totalizer, and power reserve, torque, and function indicators. Yes, a whole mouthful. For me, this is the best Richard Mille there is. This is not just a watch, this is a real tool with style, and it is limited to only 75 pieces. Number 15.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Cartier Crash. For me, this watch is so mysterious, which is why I, for a long time, didn't even know this watch was an original Cartier watch. This watch is super special, and without a doubt my favorite Cartier watch. It was also one of the first watches that caught my attention and made me love watches, but back then I didn't have a clue of how rare this watch really was. Number 14.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Comex Sea Dweller. Comex is a French company that has been focusing on big experiments, researching how deep people can dive. They conducted a series of experimental dives of up to 2,133 feet, 650 meters deep in seawater in a hyperbaric research chamber in France. For 2 hours, one diver went as deep as 2,300 feet, which is 701 meters. which is the deepest a human has gone under pressure to date. They say that the Rolex watches with Comex on the dial weren't good enough, so they were given away at the office. That's the story. And that's why they are so rare. This is another one of those Easter eggs I was talking about, with the Comex logo on the dial of the watch. Number 13.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 3970R Patek Philippe just has my heart. There's nothing wrong with it. This is the perfect dress watch for me. Number 12.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The AP Royal Oak 2659-8 BC. This watch is crazy. I can imagine that if you wear this watch, you feel like a rock star. Look at this dial in combination with the baguette cut diamond bezel. This watch pops out. It's a masterpiece in terms of looks. Number 11.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Christopher Claret Poker. This is a watch that just is too cool to not put in the list. With this watch, you can play poker. It works perfectly and even has all windows so you can peek at the cards of your opponents. I love to play poker, and with this watch, I could play everywhere I want. And when I am done, I just turn the watch around and start playing roulette. Yes, it also has a roulette wheel on the back. What a crazy watch. If you can even call it a watch. I guess you can, because it also tells the time. Number 10.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Turbograph. Speaking about masterpieces, this is a masterpiece in terms of technique. A watch with a tourbillon and a chronograph, but not just any chronograph, a split-second chronograph. This gives you the option to, for example, record the time of somebody who is running laps. Because with only a chronograph, after a lap, the chronograph stops, but the person keeps running. With a split-second chronograph, the other hand starts ticking and goes on. Number 9.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Reverso Hybris Mechanica. It's getting serious. The first watch with 4 faces. This is just incredible. Such a complicated piece that's put together in such a perfect way, which makes it seem impossible to match or beat this watch. This watch has a flying tourbillon, an instantaneous perpetual calendar, a minute repeater, a moon phase accurate to a day in 1111 years, a draconic cycle indicator, and last but not least, a northern hemisphere moon phase display. This is just insanity. Every bit of time you can think of has been put in a watch limited to only 10 pieces. You can see when there will be a full moon on this watch. I mean, this is just insane. Number 8.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The AP Royal Oak 1520 BC. This may not be such a complicated watch, but it is for me a special watch. It's the last simple watch of this list, but it's the best looking simple watch for me. When I look at this, I see a watch that you can wear at any moment in any place. A watch so perfect, I just had to put it at a high spot. Number 7.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Patek Philippe 5204G. You almost never see green luxury watches, which is a shame because green is my favorite color. And this split-second chronograph perpetual calendar fits right up my alley. Just Patek Philippe saying, "You thought we were good at making dress watches? Let me show you a funky dress watch." Just a piece you can't dislike. Number 6.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The 25th anniversary Audemars Piguet, a very unique piece with a mother-of-pearl subdial. It's just such a crazy watch. I saw it in the collection of Nico Leonard and I was shocked. I knew he had some nice modern watches, but a piece like this is insane. To be able to find pieces like these is too crazy. You have to imagine, there are 7 billion people in the world and one person has the watch you are looking for. And your mission is to find it. That's just a task that seems impossible. Well, Nico Leonard made it possible. What a G. Number 5.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Vianney Halter Deep Space Tourbillon. This may be more of a money watch and not that rare of a piece, but still, it looks amazing. You're just looking at a pure form of mechanics perfectly put together to create time. It's just such a pure watch that is already a decade old, but looks like it came from the future. I'll just give you a moment to look at and admire this beautiful piece. Number 4.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Rolex 6263, aka the legend. This Paul Newman solid gold Daytona hits the nail. It's the best vintage piece there is in my opinion. It ticks just like you bought it yesterday, and it looks like it came out yesterday. Just an incredible watch. Number 3.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Parallax Tourbillon Platinum. If you have never heard of Grönefeld, I highly recommend taking a look at their watches. There are Dutch watchmakers who have passion and drive to make a variation of very good looking complicated watches. My favorite dial color is the salmon dial, which comes back in this piece. I'm also in love with tourbillons, so this is just a perfect piece in my opinion. And out of all their amazing watches, this is my favorite one. It was hard to choose, but in the end, I chose this one. Number 2.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
The Patek Philippe 5970R. When I started getting into watches and I saw this watch around 3 or 4 years ago, I knew this was my grill watch. And it is still, to this day, my grill watch. I believe and I hope one day I will be a proud owner of the 5970R. I've put it on number 2 because I think number 1 is a way more incredible watch. But out of all the watches on this list, this 5970R is the watch I would want to wear the most. And finally, at number 1,
Paid the cost to be the boss.
the best watch is the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime. One of the main features of this watch is a reversible case. And one of the spillover benefits of the reversing mechanism is that it positions the spring bars far enough from the case to the point where the strap perfectly contacts the wrist and keeps the guilloche hobnail case right where it should be. Patek claims that it took over 100,000 man-hours to develop this watch. This watch has way too many functions to put in this video because it's already way too long. But if you're interested, I recommend watching this video from Patek Philippe themselves. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching my top 100. Leave a comment on what you think about my list. Make sure to subscribe and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!
31 million francs for the Patek Grandmaster Chime. Once in a lifetime, only at Christie's.